Hey everyone, it's Aisha Love, founder of Multidimensional You, back from my big multidimensional mission fieldwork in the south of France. Mission accomplished from Florida to France and back here home to Oklahoma. It's been a whirlwind of, I would say, 4 to 6 weeks. And everything that I've had to undergo in terms of my own awakening went into application during that time. So my ability to hear my own inner guidance, pay attention to the signs and synchronicities, trust myself, take quick aligned action, not get caught up in indecision limbo, all these benefits of being able to really carry out your greater purpose at the level that you committed to before you came in with really good intentions, but then you get here and you go, what? Who? Me? What? Huh? That's crazy talk. That's nut job stuff, right? So the whole theme of this conversation this time is really about it's coming off of the conversation from my blog post last time. I didn't do a video. It's like, what's the legacy we're going to leave the next generation? And hands down, the shadow work is the ultimate hack to changing our reality. Otherwise, we're giving all of our, our unaddressed wounds and trauma right down to the next generation. They've taken it on, they're carrying it, living it out, expressing it, and passing it on. And so really, all the amazing multidimensional everything is beautiful and important, but at a fundamental level, each individual being, in this case, mostly I'm talking about humanity here on this channel, but it's not limited to human beings. And if you're listening and you're an interdimensional, you know who you are. Yeah, I hear laughter. They're like, she knows we watch her channel. That's great. So the ultimate hack for the next generation is to become aware of the shadow, learn to recognize it. This changes entire family lines. I watched it happen. I felt it happen on a call yesterday with one of the groups I work with. It's like a whole line just changed because the next generation under 10 is A, learning they have shadow, they have hidden motivations, B, they're learning to recognize them, and C, they're being given permission by the adults in their lives who are way showing and role modeling what it is to put a timeout on the shadow and call it forward, bring it into the room, put it on the table, and be able to shift long-standing patterns that just, again, hand it down. Now, I'm being called to really address shame because it's unpacking shame. I have a friend in Idaho who works in the field of mental health, and that's what she says she does, is she's just cleaning up shame. And I think, thank you for that, by the way, you know who you are. I think that's some of the most important work we can possibly do because, again, the ultimate reality hack to shift your vibration, your light quotient, what version of reality and what dimension you get to hang out in is all dependent on how much weight that you're carrying. And this hidden shame that gets passed down generations is really a huge encumbrance. So shadow work, unpacking shame, destigmatizing shame, just being okay with the fact that you feel shame. These are all things like nobody wants to talk about shame, right? Until now we are, for good reason. And there's good reason why research has been done on that and has come into the public sphere. And then I'll bring it into the multidimensional context to help you understand that you can't really live in higher dimensions if you're packing around a lot of concealed shame, right? Concealed carry. It's not even just concealed and like it's like concealed and unconscious carry of shame. Disarming all of that. Disarming concealed and unconscious shame is one of the most powerful tools to self-liberate and to shift the course of human evolution and our human civilization. So next generation, you've got kids, you've got grandkids, maybe even great-grandkids. Please do your shadow work and role model what it is to them for an adult to unpack their own shame and their shadow. I will tell you, there is nothing as healing as watching a gray or white-haired person do this work. Because frankly, we just don't expect it. We expect people to stay in their postures and their facades and their masks and their authoritarian BS and all the stuff they don't even realize they're doing from that generation, and admitting nothing and taking no accountability or very limited, or I'm seeing a lot of bypass and pretending. let me just tell you, I'll just tell you right now, there's always more shadow to unpack. It's like this amazing, like spiraling ball. It's like, I think these vessels are so loaded up that there's no shortage of this work to do. I mean, you just get more adept at it. It moves faster. So it's not that, it's a slog that's unpleasant. It gets better and better. It's kind of like anything. You build a muscle at the gym and it gets easier to lift the weight, right? In this case, you're releasing weight and it becomes much easier to release that weight, because what I'm being shown now and asked to talk about is we don't recognize the extent to which we're addicted or attuned to feeling a certain way. And so we will just create events, act out in ways that will create more of that same in order to feel the equivalency of what the ancestral line has felt. So it's a lot of unpacking. And so what I'm being shown now too is many of you've been on this, but you're being called into the next level, just like me, just like so many on the planet. And the timing couldn't be better, because I have a feeling that we're going to see a lot of attempts at creating a lot of reptilian trauma brain, like throw everybody back, into the brainstem instead of up here, and then let alone with the open heart. So you'll see a lot of that. And this work also liberates you from feeling any sort of contraction out of fear, because you're doing the deep excavation of your own fear and wounding. So not much will vibrate and contract you. It's a really powerful maneuver. The other thing I'm being asked to call out right now is settling. So there are, I think, a group of folks that have somehow, maybe even unconsciously, settled, just decided, this is as far as it's going to go, as far as I'm going to take it. Actually, you're getting really called out right now. I'm sorry, and you're welcome. Yeah, it's energetic happening. Okay. There we go. Yep, I can feel like gears moving. Like, hello, in there. You had intentions and coping mechanism, right? To all the trauma here. Self-preservation and protection. You've retreated and decided this is as far as you're going to take it. Your soul is like, this is not the end of the rodeo. And I know it because I've gone through this myself over the last few years, and so many of the people I work with too. It's like, your soul's not interested in settling. Not even close. This isn't about achievement. This is about unburdening. This is about expanding back into your truer nature of love while you're here. In the face of all the fear, the density, the burdens, the heavy blankets, I feel a lot of anger in the field, unprocessed anger. There's been a lot of loss of people, loss of livelihood, loss of identity. And so I can feel like a segment of folks has kind of retreated. I get that. I had to do that for a while, but ain't no place to hang out. That's not a long-term place you want to spend any time. So it's like, kind of what I've done is, it's like, you got to really fire up within, because the pressure is on. There's definitely agendas that don't want humanity waking up. So the pressure is on to, like, can we make you feel afraid? Can we keep you in a certain, level? And really, that I'm being shown that program is kind of internalized. And so people are doing that to one another. Don't get too bright. Stay where you are. Don't get to anything. Happy, joyful, abundant, etc. Is that really the legacy we want to pass on to our kids? Hell to the no, right? I mean, I'm raising my daughter with all the things that our educational system does not include. Most of all, which is mindset and shadow work and sourcing everything that came in the ancestral vehicle that you inherited, that if your parents didn't get to, guess what? It's yours now, being in resistance to wanting to do the work, right? Feeling like we shouldn't have to. Looking at entitlement that's been handed down, that we inherited. And really, ultimately, what I'm being shown now, especially for the next generation, is rather than trying to give them dogma, prescription, sit down and do what you're told, it's to unleash and unlock their creativity. And there's no better way to do it than by you addressing your own shadow and showing them, teaching them how to do it. Because otherwise, the hidden aspects that have been rejected will constantly shut down the natural, creative, and very playful impulse that every human has. It's part of our OG design, the original. It's part of our divine template. But it's undergone distortion, errors, and omissions. So this really is a huge reclamation project. And so, yeah, I guess you're going to hear me talk about shadow over and over and over again, because in my direct experience, myself and everyone I work with, it's the number one element that is so powerfully blocking and limiting to the next evolution of humanity and the next expression of our human civilization. This has got big consequences. It might seem kind of like, yeah, I don't really need to do that. But if you care about the future of Earth and humanity and our kids and grandkids, and I know you do, because otherwise you wouldn't be on this channel with me, then it's really time to walk the talk and really look at your shit. Just be open to it. Will it be painful at times? Heck yeah. But do you have to create a whole story and then kick your own butt with a bunch of shame? No, that's a choice. So we got this. We can totally do this. We are doing this for the next generation and the one after that. And just think what they're going to be able to create because of what we're doing. Let that be your motivation. All right. I love you all.